skimmer with a completely black body and a black tip, whereas if you see, there's quite similarity between the Indian skimmer and the African skimmer, except that Indian skimmer has a white neck completely. The bill looks quite same. And Indian skimmer is quite in between size of as compared to the black skimmer, the African skimmer. So this is the background about this genus called as Rhynchops, and they have a very unique bill. Of all the three skimmer species, they have a lower mandible which is really bigger than the upper mandible, and as the name suggests, they skim on the water surface to catch fish, which is their diet, and that's the reason they have got this name. So I'll come to the Indian skimmer. As Nandakishore introduced it, that it's listed as vulnerable. Just day before yesterday, Indian skimmer got uplisted as endangered, which is such a not good news because the species is continuously declining, and it has been estimated that there are approximately 2 to 3,000 birds which are left, like mature individuals left in the world. And that's the reason there's a quite rapid decline. So the species was uplisted as endangered. And it's a very unique species if you see. It's very outstanding bird, and it's not that if you see a skimmer, it will be very difficult to identify it. But still being, such a glamorous species and as well as photographers, there's a lot of gap in the data. So the species was initially out the continent and other places in Southeast Asia, but at present it is just distributed. So if you distribution map has been updated on the BirdLife International site just day before yesterday. Map, and this one is the old one. See that so it breeds and it locally migrates. In Bangladesh, the species is winter migrant. There is no breeding record in Bangladesh. So still considered a geographical boundary. It is not considered as breeding in Bangladesh, but there is it is still supposed that there is very small population breeding in Pakistan. But if you see, it is almost got extinct from Cambodia and Myanmar. Myanmar has just records of 2 to 4 birds, and in Nepal there are vagrant like 2 to 3 birds that are recorded annually. So India, Pakistan, and Bangladesh are the three countries which host the maximum population, and India is the last hope kind of for the species because it hosts the maximum population. And when I say population, it's a breeding population, I mean. So these are the records that we actually took out from eBird. So if you see the blue dots, these are the recent records from 2010 to 20. And the pink dots that you see are the historical records. So if you see that the species has disappeared from a lot of places, like from the entire Northeast India, there were records, and now there are no recent records from there. And there are few states in India, like almost 15 to 16 states in India, which still holds a good population of this species. But if you see the eBird data also and all the historic records and the present data that we have, there is still a lot of gap that we see in the data. And while there was a red list assessment going on, there was still a problem. And the numbers that you still see on IUCN and BirdLife International website are somewhere an estimate. So we don't have the exact number. And that was the reason that we thought of why not to involve citizen science and do a coordinated count of this species so that we understand what is the present population status and how the species is doing, because uplisting that has been done recently are on estimates that we have got from researchers and from personal communication from people. So why not to have a coordinated count? So 19th and 20th December, which is the coming next weekend, will be the count that will be it's actually initiated by Bombay Natural History Society along with Bird Count India. And we are requesting all the bird watchers to go around the sites, which I'll be mentioning right now. And please go and see whether the birds are there and do a count of them and report the sightings. And that will be really helpful to know more about the species, observe it in a better way. So as I have already given this link in the chat box, like direct you to our BNHS website page where there is entire information about this Indian skimmer count. How people can participate. There are many of them asking us that how we can contribute to it. So It's very simple. 19th and 28th December are the two dates, and this are we have shortlisted from India some 55 sites in around 15 states, and you can see there are other countries also where we have shortlisted the sites, and where people can go. Either they can go on 19th of December or 28th of December, or they can participate on both the dates and visit this site. There is a very high possibility that this sites there might be no birds over there, because we have just collected all the site from the literature, but we still request bird watchers to go and check and confirm that there are no birds over there. Don't consider that in this season we haven't seen any skimmers, so there are no skimmers, and only go to the sites where there are confirmed skimmer records, because we even want to confirm the absence over here. So if there is a place where you're visiting and there are no skimmers, not a problem, but record that there are no skimmers over there. So you can select any of the sites. If you go on the link, I will paste this link again in the chat box at the end. And I've already done it. So if you see, most of the sites, we have linked it up, and it will be directed directly to a birding hotspot on eBird, and you can understand how to reach to these places. So there are a list of 55 sites. We might have missed certain sites, but bird watchers or citizens are always welcome to add on certain sites and visit on their own if they feel that there are additional sites where skimmers are seen, and that will be helpful. Any of the sites on either 19th or 20th or both the days, you mainly have to go in that wetland and do the count of the bird. So if there are usually, like, there are few, or by 10 or 20 birds, it's very easy to count. But there are sites like Jamnagar, or where there are birds which are more than 100 in numbers, and if there is any problem in counting, this is a very simple way of counting the birds, of doing a block method. So it's just like you have an imaginary square and you count the birds and you just replicate it. For an example, in this image, like if you see, from the left hand side, if I see, I have made 6 blocks of the birds, and each one first block, if you count, there are 9 birds. So I've just multiplied 9 by 6, which gives me 54, and the 4 birds which are left outside. So 54 plus 4, 58 birds. So this becomes easy. This you can do either, and it will be really good if you can get absolute count. But if you're not getting absolute count, this is also a good way of estimating the birds in the wetland. If there are photographs and you can count each individual from the photographs, nothing better than that. So this is how simply a common person can do the count, and you don't have to be a big expert in this. uh, we mainly have asked people to count the birds and record them, but if it will be really good if people can go one step ahead, and if they're fine in doing age classification. So if you see this bird over there, completely having black above, a dark black cap, and a very nice deep orange bill with a yellow tip and longer lower mandible, this is how an adult skimmer or a mature Indian skimmer individual look like. The second classification is the immature individual. If you see in the above image, the bill is quite dull, and you will see a very grayish yellow tip, and the black is not that dark. The cap has very dull black color, and even in the right image, if you see that the black tip is it's still there, and it's a lighter black, the dull black above, and again a dull black cap. So this is how an immature individual looks like. And if you see, the third classification is juvenile. So you will see that there is blackish brown above with heavy, there are scales on the wings, the cap is very dull. And, there's a quite, I think the participant name is Amay. Can you please mute yourself? Yeah. And you have a completely black, the maximum portion of your bill is black. And this is how a juveniles look like. So these are the first year bird which has just flew from their nesting site. So this is how there are 3 class, and if you can identify it, well and good. But if you are limiting yourself only to the count, that is also fine. Now, once you have done the count, how you will contribute the count? So we are mainly encouraging people to use the eBird, either the mobile app or the website, to upload their data. So on the link that I shared you of the BNHS website, everywhere we have embedded how to use an app, or how to use the eBird website for submitting your account. If you are using an app, you can simply start a checklist, and add your count as a checklist, and later on, when you have either submitted a checklist on the eBird website or the or the app, you simply share the checklist with an account named as Indian Skimmer. So it automatically gets shared with an account where all the data gets collated. Uh, Simply on the website, if you go, there is, once your checklist is there, you have an option of sharing that checklist. So you just share that checklist again with an account named as Indian Skimmer, and the data will be collated at one place. So this is how, these are the two like eBird mobile app as well as eBird website can be used for giving your data about the Indian Skim account. The second thing that we have made, if people have any problem in using eBird app, there's an online Google form available. I will again share the link of the form. It's a very simple. It's obviously it's you need an internet for accessing this Google form. It's a very simple form which gives a bit of introduction about the Skim account, and then there are small details like participant name, email, country, and then it goes how to add your data. I'll be soon running all this platform on a web browser for you so that you understand it. The third way that you can contribute the data is fill in form. This form is downloadable from the website, and it's a Word file. Word file which where you can't edit the information that we have written, but there are cells where you can fill up the data. So again, there are very basic things required: name of the participant, your detail, email, and then the site details and the count details. I will run this form again to you. The first two, like if you're using the eBird app or you're using the eBird website, the data gets automatically collated. But if even on the same with the Google form, but if you're using this form, you have to email this filled up data sheet to skimaccount@bnhs.org so that we receive this form. Uh, uh, and we get your data. There are a few general instructions. As most of the people have doubt that when should we conduct this count on this day. So ideally you start around early morning, but since it's winters, there at some places in northern India it will be fog. So you find a very suitable time, which is appropriate for your site which you are visiting. Even evening counts are good if there are light conditions which are better and it's not feasible for you to go early morning. Absolutely fine. There are certain places which might have a tight. So select if the bird or low, and you can go to those sites accordingly. Bird, please leave a brief description, and there are details. And you can create a eBird account and start using it. It's very simple and it's a better way. And it's not only for the Indian Skim account. It's also to contribute your data on the eBird platform and how to manage your own data. There are a few ethics and etiquette that I will talk about. So if you're visiting any of the site, avoid stressing the birds and be cautious around the roosting, any nesting. Right? So always be careful and retraining when you are photographing or recording or approaching the birds because usually we don't want to stress the birds and if it's a roosting site, we don't want the birds to get disturbed. So keep a safe distance from birds. There are some important note if people have gone and have they done birding, they have noted the bird, but they have not reported the birds on the same day. Please submit all your counts before 10th of January because after 10th of January, we are going to announce the second phase of this count, which will be quite dependent on the first count. So we request you to just whoever is going to conduct this count, please submit your counts before 10th of Jan. And while birding, please ensure that you adhere to all the COVID-19 instructions that is given by central and the state authorities and the local authorities. If you have any pictures that you want to send us, and I know you can upload photos on the eBird, but in Google form and in the downloadable form, you won't be able to send the pictures. So please email the pictures to us, and we'll be really happy to share those pictures. And yeah, so people usually using eBird are they are used to uploading a complete checklist, and we will encourage participants that once you are done with count of skimmers, please do look around, and if you have any other birds, contribute that sighting. We request you all to specially look out if you have any records or any sightings of black-bellied tern in the same area where you are going for skimmers. Do record that sighting in on eBird, obviously, since you will be submitting the entire checklist, it will be easy. But participants who are using Google Form, you can add that data of other species. There is a section as called as other red list bird species observed tab, and you can add it over there. In downloadable data sheet also, we have a tab called as other observations. So you can add that data over there also. And if you have any further, issues or any questions, you can write at skimaccount@bnhs.org, or you can visit our website. And this is our office number. And I will share this detail in the chat box. So I'll end this presentation over here, and I will just show you a few things on the web browser so that you understand it. Okay, so if you guys can. So as I showed you, so if you go on the BNHS website, okay, the link which I have given, this will be the link. This is the link which I have given, and if you go and if you scroll down, so it gives you a brief introduction why we are conducting this count, and then you come to how to participate in the Indian Skim account. So visit any of the shortlisted sites. So if you click over here, list of the potential sites, I have even pasted this link in the chat. So if you see this, there are around 55 sites, 56 sites at present. As soon as participants are giving us another site where they like to give, we are continuously updating this list. So please select any of the site. As I said, that if you click on this thing, like I clicked on, Koringa, and it will redirect me to the hotspot like Koringa Wildlife Sanctuary and where it is located and how you can go there. So this can be easily done on the website thing. Just a sec. Yeah. So this is how you can go to the sites. And the second thing is, so when I said that you can use the eBird mobile app or you can use the eBird website, I will just redirect you to a PDF, which is on the website again, how to use a eBird mobile app. So firstly, the app screen will look something like that. You start a checklist and, make sure your GPS is turned on in your device so that the app can determine your GPS location. Secondly, and if you're counting only skimmers and you're not counting any other birds, please make sure that your checklist, what you are submitting, where the app will always ask you, is this a complete checklist of birds you are able to identify? If you are just submitting skimmers, please click it as no. If you are counting all the other birds, then only click yes. Once you have finished your checklist, you can obviously directly share from the number of observers. If you tap as 2 observers, then you can share the checklist with the account named as Indian Skimmer. See, the way I have just added Indian Skimmer and I have added of sharing the checklist with me, and it automatically gets shared with our account, and we know how, then we know that which sites have been covered and how many birds have been seen. There is a high possibility that at the sites that you are going, there will be no internet and you won't be able to submit the checklist. That's absolutely fine. You can just click it on the close thing, and later on when you come in the connectivity, you can just go there and in your checklist section, and you will see a not submitted checklist, and then just open the checklist and submit it whenever you have connectivity. So this is few things. This is a few things about using the app. So if you and if the thing is, if you are not comfortable using the app, you can anytime come back, log in on your system and go to ebird.org, add up a checklist and share that checklist once you have submitted with Indian Skimmer account. As I said before, if possible, undertake a careful count of birds to identify numbers of juvenile, immature, and adult, because that makes it more meaningful. And for understanding the age classification, which I have already submitted in the presentation, there is a link which is there on the website. And if you click over here, you will be redirected to a page which will it will comes like this: age classification. The same images that I explained you on the presentation, you can see them on the website, and you can see how you can identify. Then later, if you have pictures, you can compare those pictures with this thing and then confirm how many mature, how many immature, and how many juveniles were there. So then we come to the Google form, and I'll show you. So we have written here, we encourage participants to contribute their observation through eBird platform. However, participants can also use Google Forms. I'll show you how does the Google form looks like. So it's a very simple link. Yes, you will need internet for this. So it gives you a brief introduction about the Indian Skim account, and it will ask the name of the participant, which is optional. So if you see wherever there is a red star, that is a required information, and that's a compulsory. So I will just add my name, add my email ID. Please do add your email ID so that we can contact you later on, and make sure you are adding a correct email ID, because that's the way that we will be able to get back to you. There are a list of countries where Indian skimmers are found. So if you're contributing from India, and then you just click next, and then it will ask you the date of count. So you just go scroll. If you're counting on 19, select 19. What were the weather conditions during your count? There was haze, there was cloudy, or there was something else. So I write it as it was haze. And the time that you start, because if so, this is the thing like I would like to mention, because if you're using eBird, this all data the app will take automatically, and you will not have to add it. So I probably started at 7 a.m. and so you just add it over here. And I was there for 2 hours, and I finished at my count at 9 a.m. So this is how you add. And I was at what location? So I was probably at Panjim Wetland in Mumbai. Yeah, and this is a GPS coordinate. It's not a compulsory question, but it will be very helpful if you can add a GPS coordinate in this section. It's very easy to find a GPS coordinate of a place through your smartphone. The nearest count that was there, I will write it as Oran, and the district was Navi Mumbai. State was Maharashtra. So any specific habitat? Yes, it was a coastal wetland where I was birding. So there are different category, whether it's an inland wetland, it's a coastal wetland, a mud flat, salt pans, river, lagoon, dams, barrage, ponds, creek, anywhere that you have seen. If you have a multiple habitat also, like it was a coastal as well as inland wetland in that area, but we have just given you one option, so you won't be able to select more than one option. So select one. And total count of the skimmers, like I saw 4 birds, and my answer is like all 4 were adults. So if you can categorize your 4 and 1 were adult, 2 were juveniles, please do that. And what were the activities that the birds were doing? So I just wrote like roosting, and if I have observed any threats, there was no threats that I observed. So here I was talking about I think so, sir Ajay, can you mute yourself? So if you have observed any other red list bird species, you can add it over here. And for an example, I gave you in a presentation about the black-bellied tern. So you can write here that you observed 2 black-bellied tern. One more thing that we are, because BNHS has been even studying migration of Indian skimmers. So if by any chance during this count, anybody has reported any color flagged Indian skimmer, and you want to inform that thing, you can inform it in the form over here. So it asks me, did you report any Indian skimmer color flag? And I say, yes, I did report it. And if you go to next, it will ask you if you have noted down the flag or the tag number, you can write it down. Like I noted down N05 or something, whatever number was there on your flag. And this is how once you can then just finish this thing by clicking over here as submit, and the response gets submitted like this. If you have visited more than one site, you can select another response. If you have visited 19th as well as on 20th, you have to submit another response. You can't put one response in the Google form. Any questions to anyone? You can just put it in the chat box right now before I go to another mode of submission, which is a fill-in form. No questions? Okay. Okay, somebody has asked, could you help explain examples of threats observed? Yeah, so it will be something like you have observed some free-ranging dogs attacking chasing the birds at the roosting site, or there are fishing nets, or there is fishing activity going on, or there is some pollution that you think there is some solid waste dumping going on, or there is so there are multiple things that you can consider as a threat to the species or the habitat where you have seen the species. So somebody has asked me, coordinator of CBMP of BNHS from Mumbai, and which sites in Mumbai are suitable for Indian skim account. So if you see, I will just go back to the site. And if you go to the website and if you click on the potential sites, I think so in Mumbai, the site is which is Uran. Yeah, so in Panje wetland, there's one thing, and even in Pandu pumping station, there has been old records of the birds. So these are the two sites around Mumbai, outskirts of Mumbai, where the birds have been reported. Okay, so I'll go on another thing, which is yeah. So I will go on the other thing, the third way, which is fill in a word form which is downloadable, and if you click on the website, the form will get downloaded, and I'm just opening the form. Please just confirm once that whether you are able to see this form. Viraj, can you just confirm that whether you are able to see the word form?
Not yet.
Okay, just you can still see the browser if I'm not wrong. Okay, just a sec. Yeah, I will just share. Okay. Okay, so if you see, this is a form that it looks like. You won't be able to edit any information in this form because we have just logged the form and there are only certain information that is editable. So it's like you enter your name here. If there are more than one participants, if you're a group of bird watchers visiting a site, please enter other bird watchers name here. And see, entering a name is optional, but it's just like we need it for acknowledgement for people who have contributed to this cause. Enter your email ID. The date of the count can be entered here. If you click, it just again gives you to select a date. Again, a weather condition, which you can just click what weather condition was there, start time of the count and end time of the count. Location, wherever you have gone, whichever site you have visited, enter the text here, name of the nearest town and village. We are just asking name of the nearest town and village. It's only because in case if people are not able to enter the GPS coordinate, we can at least track down that place and enter the location. Choose the country from the drop down list wherever, since it's open for global count. So you can select one specific habitat. Again, as mentioned before, you just have to click in. So it's just like you click it like this. And the total count of skimmer, it's a compulsory question. Again, since there is a red star, number of adults, immatures, and juveniles, if you're able to identify them, well and good. If not, you can just write the total count over here. The activities that you have observed. So if the birds are roosting, you just write roosting. If you see them skimming or foraging, you can just click here flying. If there are multiple activities that you recorded during your count, you can click multiple activities. And again, threats observed, if any, just write down if you have observed any disturbance at the site, at the roosting site, or you have seen that there is an ongoing fishing activity, or there is some, there is there's some dredging going on in the wetland, or there's some dumping of waste going on. Again, did you report any Indian skimmer with color flag? If yes and no, and if yes, which flag or tag number you have recorded? If you have clicked any images, please email to us at skimaccount@bnhs.org. And in other observations, as I said you that since this form is very restricted, and if you have seen any other threatened species, we especially are looking for if you have seen any black belly tern sighting, do add it in this tab, other observations. And once you click this thing, you just have to type. So as I did over here, like if I have seen any other observations, like I saw two black belly tern, So you just type it over here, and then later on just save the form and email it to us. And on top itself, it is written, email the field data sheet to skimaccount@bnhs.org. Remember, please send your data before 10th of January. So these are the three ways that you can submit your data. I will again come to one of the things, like I think so most of the people have a query about sites. So which sites? So I'll just open that link. I have already shared that thing. So see, Andhra Pradesh, there are Korenga Wildlife Sanctuary and Kakinada, which are two places which are suitable for skimmers. In Bihar, it is mainly the Gangetic River system. In Delhi, it is the Yamuna River. In Goa, there are two places, the Agakim Tidal Mudflat and Diwar Island. Gujarat, there are multiple places and there are multiple sites where skimmers are. At present, the highest sightings are coming from Jamnagar, but there are other places also which are very important. And as mentioned before, that we request bird watchers to go at these sites, even if there are no sighting records of skimmers coming in recent past, like in last month or anything. Do visit this site if possible for you, and even record the absent data that you haven't seen any skimmers over there. Then there's a Pongdam site in Himachal, Karnataka, Bagalkot, MP. There's the Chambal Sanctuary, the Denwa River backwaters, and Panje, as somebody asked, from Mumbai. So that's one of the place. In Pune, there were records from Kavri Part. So if anybody visiting that, even in Mumbai, it's Bhandu pumping station. So Odisha have few again sites: Bhitarkanika, Chilka, Mundali, Satkosia, and Harike Lake Wildlife Sanctuary in Punjab. In Rajasthan, again, there are few sites. And there are sites in Tamil Nadu, Point Calamar and Pulicat, where there have been sightings in past. In UP, again, it's the entire Ganges river system and the Chambal river system where the birds have been recorded. In West Bengal, near Farakka, Sundarbans and Hooghly on the river Ganga again. So these are the few sites which I have rapidly just said. So if people have any questions about this, do let me know, or else I can stop sharing my screen and open this thing to the discussion. Yeah.
Yeah. Uh, yes.
Yes.
Thank you, Parveen,
Yeah.
for this wonderful session. I think there
Yes.
are few queries.
Yes.
Uh, could it possible to read the queries in chat
Yeah,
box?
yeah, it is okay. I can do that thing. I think so. I've already answered Dr. Mahesh's query, and I have already answered Neil Juneja's query about explain examples of threat observed. Uh, You said we should also record if the birds are not found and potentials out. How do we do that on eBird app? Okay, Sushant, that's a good question. So if you have visited any of the site and you are adding the checklist and there are no skimmers in it, still make sure you share that checklist with Indian Skimmer account. So we will know that you have visited for the count purpose, but you haven't seen any of the Indian Skimmer over there. So I hope that makes sense to you, Sushant. And if it doesn't, you can again write a question in the chat box. Which site in Andhra is suitable for skim account? As I mentioned before, Kakinada and Korenga at the time, two suitable sites. But Hope Island is one of the things which is off the shore. And the other thing is, like, you can see check the Godavari river system if visible. That is one again the potential site. Can I see the birds in West Maharashtra? So in West Maharashtra, like if I consider the coastal areas of Mumbai and Alibag till now have the records. No more south to Alibag, the species has been recorded on the west side. Is it Dr. Mahesh, is possibility of presence of Indian skimmer at seashore, example Juhu Beach. Actually, it has been not recorded in past from Juhu Beach, and the skimmer sightings that are from Mumbai, it's only from Bhandu pumping station and I think so Panje, and some places near, I think so beyond Virar, the seashore over there, but not from Juhu Beach till now. It's a very it might be a very rare thing actually for the birds to visit that site. So yeah, so I just want to know. I'm very new to the Cisco WebEx meeting, but app. But Nandakishore, is there any way that I can share few documents to them right now? over this. I think so.
Yeah,
Devrata Das has raised his hand.
you
Devrata,
can share the link.
I can share the link. Okay, no, I don't want to share the link. I want to share few Word files directly with them where they don't have to need internet. Like they can just download it. Is that possible?
No. Here
No,
there
that's
is no possible.
okay.
But you
Okay.
can share the link so they can click on the link.
Okay. That I will do. That I will do. Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think so. There is a participant who has raised his hand. So Devrata, can you just unmute yourself and ask the question? Devrata Das. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello, madam.
Yes. Hi.
Is it possible to count from Odisha part nearer to West Bengal?
Sir, I have already mentioned few sites, and if you can visit those sites,
Yes.
that will be better, because in Odisha there are few sites, like from Satkosia there are sightings, from Mundili there are sightings, from Chilka there are sightings.
Chilka nearer actually site. Chilka.
Yeah. So, sir, if you can visit that site, it will be very helpful.
Yes, madam.
Okay. Even
Thank you.
since I will just request all the participants for take a quick think, and if you are already planned to visit certain sites, please can you just type in the chat box so that we have an idea what sites are getting covered, and all participants who are attending this webinar right now, it will be just helpful for us to collate, like, no pressure from our side. If you have decided, well and good. If you even think that you can visit, probably just type in the chat box if you're going to cover any of the sites. And if anybody have any question, please low. You can even, I think, so somebody, if you have not typed the question in the chat box, you can just unmute yourself and ask if anybody have. I'm sharing the link of everything I've shared right now. Yes, Dr. Mahesh, thanks for your reply. You can visit Bhandup pumping station. Yes. I have shared the link about how to count. The same block method has been explained on this thing, so you can do that. I'm sharing the link on age class, so you can even yes, the count is for any of the 2 day. If you can visit either on 19 or either on 20, but if people want to visit on both the days, it is well and good, and please do that thing. Just make sure that you are adding a different checklist for both the days. And if you're filling up a Google form, just fill up different forms for both the days. And if you're filling up a downloadable data sheet, please fill a separate sheet for different site or for different days. Please share all the relevant links in the WhatsApp group. Can Piyush Sharma explain this WhatsApp group, because I don't know what WhatsApp group. Nandakishore, is there a special WhatsApp group that somebody is talking about? Yeah?
There is no WhatsApp group.
Okay.
We can put our email ID here. If you want to know more about the count or any
Yeah,
other queries,
so
you can write with us.
yeah.
Please, Parveen, can you share your mail ID so they can write to you
Yeah,
directly?
I can just skimmer. So this is the email ID, skimmercount@bnhs.org. Please write any queries to it, and if you need the downloadable data sheet, please do write to us. We will send the data sheet to you if it is getting difficult for you to download from the website.
Some questions in the chat box.
Yeah. Okay. How much area should be covered for the search? So mainly, see what sites we have mentioned in in the potential sites. Most of them are wetlands, and there are closed wetlands. But if you all are doing any of the open system, like a river system or a very large wetland, please just try to scan it once and cover, because I can understand that some of the sites might be really huge wetlands. So it is always good that if you have a team, so that people can scatter around and try to cover the maximum part of the wetland in search of this species. I assure you that if skimmers are there at the site, it's not going to be very difficult species to not being seen. So it's a very a very big bird and a very bright looking bird that you won't be missing it until and unless there are one or two birds sitting in a large flock of terns or gulls, and at that time it's very difficult to identify one. But most of the time, if there is a small flock, it will be very easy to find them. But it's a very difficult thing to say me how much area should you cover, because for a closed system it's fine, but for rivers and for mud flat it's going to be completely dependent on bird watcher, like what area is accessible and how much area that you can cover. So try to cover as much as, if you are covering a very large area, and if you're adding GPS coordinates, add multiple GPS coordinates, so with that understand that you have covered a large area. So I have just shared a link on, if you are using a eBird website and you want to know how to share a checklist, you can just follow this link. How to detect or avoid duplicate bird instances. Example, if same bird is recorded by few other observers far away from each other. So Hemant, Hemang Sampath, so yeah, so this is a very high possibility, that there might be a duplicate count. So see, at this position, if you mean to say a duplicate of, like, there are only one or two individuals and far away the same two individuals have gone, then it is a possibility that you might count those two individuals as same, and that can happen and we can't avoid it. But for a large flock size, like if you are counting a 50 and some other bird watchers have count 50, try to get, just since you will be counting them as 50, and if they have they have taken a flight and have gone in one direction, and just try to coordinate with the bird watcher that the same flock has flied over there, so that you don't double count it. And this is the only thing that you can do in a large flock size. If it gets double, if one or two birds are getting double counted, we actually, in this kind of coordinated count, we can't avoid that kind of error that happen. And that is the reason this activity is not going to generate that there are 121 skimmers in India. So we are not going to come up with an exact number. It's always going to be an estimation. If most of the bird watchers
Can
are
we
going
see
to
this bird? Yeah.
can we see this bird in seawater? Actually, they are not a very pelagic bird, so you are not going to see them very offshore. But there is a possibility that you might see them in the intertidal area, where the shore, where the the shore, where the shoreline is, and you might see them feeding or roosting in the mud flat. So you will not see this bird in an open sea. Sea water is fine. They do feed in the tidal areas, so they feed in sea water, but you will not see them in open water. What is the current status of skimmer in Tamil Nadu? Very few records, not many. The previous Tamil Nadu records are also like birds less than 10 in number. So it's not, the birds don't come there in large numbers. As you will see the numbers which are there on east coast in Andhra Pradesh, like in Kakinada, you will see them into 100 to 200 birds, and on west coast, Jamnagar. So you will not see that high number in Tamil Nadu. I have again shared the link of the Google form here. So if anybody wants to directly go to the Google form, you can go from here. And all these links are available on the main BNHS website link. So if you have that one link and if you read all the instructions, everything is available there. And you can contact me anytime if you have any doubts. So yeah, Nandakishore, I think so most of the questions we have taken. If people don't have any more questions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Parveen, and thank you all the
Yes.
participants.
Yeah.
And yeah, there is, I think, one more question. What is about
Dr.
possibility of?
Mahesh, so you can try visiting the site, but it's a very it's not a very common species in Mumbai. So the places that we have listed in Mumbai, the two places where the birds have been seen. So if you've seen the past record of Uran Panji only, it is 5 to 6 birds that come here. So it's not a very common species on Mumbai coast. That's the reason, though there are a lot of coastal habitat, it's a very it's not a possibility that you will find the birds over there. Yes, Nandakishore, over to you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, now we have to wrap up this session. So thank you, Parveen, for giving your valuable time, and thank you all the
Yeah.
participants. And I hope, uh, yeah, all the participants have raised their queries, and Ms. Parveen have gave the answer to all the queries. And if you have any queries in future, you can write with us. And Ms. Parveen has already shared her email ID. You can directly mail to her. And best of luck, Parveen, and all the participants for our upcoming
Yes.
uh, Indian skimmer count, which will be held on 19 and 20
19th and 20, yes.
December 2020.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes. And we will shortly announce our next count also. So we can plan
Yeah.
one more such webinar. So the participant, those who have joined here, they can share their experience in next webinar. So we will improve our count, or we will improve our the information which are already shared. So thank you very much, and bye bye, and
Yes.
good night.
Yes.
Thank you.
Nandakishore, if you can save the chat and just send it to me. So if there is anything I
Yes,
can,
yes, yes. I will.
yes. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
I will save the chat and I will share through
Yeah.
email.
Sure.
Okay,
Sure.
yeah.
Thank you so
And
much. Yeah.
yeah, we will upload this all the recording on our
Yes.
BNHS YouTube channel. So if you
Okay.
miss any part, then you can watch through our BNHS YouTube channel. Thank you, Parveen, once
Yes.
again.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
bye bye.
Bye.
Good night.